I am Johnny Massacre and welcome to my world. Tonight, you are going to learn about a new Epstein file dump that is explosive. And it contains Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, and more. And I'm just going to react to it because this news is breaking. There's tons and tons of stuff coming out. The mainstream media are being very apprehensive reporting on it because they don't want to get sued to the tune of literally billions of dollars. The Daily Mail is running with all of those names I just mentioned, but they barely have anything on the Trump situation because they're obviously really afraid and they're consulting with their lawyers about what to report on.
Says, Yo, Johnny.
Hello, sunshine. How are you doing? So this is just that we're going to go through this together. We're going to work out what's going on. Feel free to drop your opinion in the live chat box in the comments and whatnot, and we'll work out what's going on. But this is crazy news. Stuff with Elon Musk is it's not damning, but it's not good either. So this is fucking mental. I woke up today and I looked at it and it's breaking. It's breaking as we speak. So let's just kind of go through what the hell is happening. Absolutely mental. Bill Gates, in this Epstein file dump by the DOJ, is accused of asking Jeffrey Epstein for antibiotics to secretly, surreptitiously spike his wife's drink or food with to cure her of an STD that she may or may not know she has because Bill Gates has been sleeping with Epstein's Russian hookers. So this is where we are. There was a hotline opened to give tips about Jeffrey Epstein, and there's a few girls in there who accused Trump of actually, say, abusing them, including forced Elatio Faye, and one of the girls who accused him is 13 years old, and a few other accusations as well. Regarding Elon Musk, you will remember that Elon Musk literally came out and said, I flat out refused to go to Epstein's island, and he asked me to go. And he also accused Trump of being in it and saying the truth will come out and stuff. There are emails now. There are claims in these documents circa 2013, and this is after Jeffrey Epstein had been convicted and let off as a file of the .pdf kind, where Elon Musk is saying, I want to come to the island, I want to have a party, I want to go to like the wildest party you have. So that's in there. That's going to make Elon Musk look terrible. Democrats are going to, this is like Christmas to Democrats. They must be scraping and scrambling like P. Diddy at a white party in a bid to collate all this data and use it going into the midterms to try to destroy like Republicans' numbers in the House and Senate. They're absolutely going to run with it. A lot of the people who are running with the information are not including other information the DOJ has released with these files that say the witnesses who said this about Donald Trump are not deemed credible. So anyone can call in and say whatever they want, any deranged leftist. We've already been through this in 2016, the grape cases against Donald Trump that were unfounded. Probably the most high-profile grape case against Donald Trump was Jean E. Carroll, that psychopath who literally said, quote, grape is sexy. She's an absolute crazy woman. We've gone through this on the stream. The story is just completely insane. It doesn't make any sense, but she was awarded money in a civil case. It wasn't an actual like criminal case. So that's the most high profile case. And these accusations in this file dump, they're accusations that were made and none of them have been proven true. None of them even went to trial, and none of them were even followed up. So anyone can call that line, any crazy leftist or whatever. But someone did call that line and say those kind of things. So that's happening, and Prince Andrew, oh my God. So there's photos released of Prince Andrew on all fours, which it's the thumbnail for this video, straddling some of Epstein's girls, which is mental. So let's just try to go through what is in this file dump before everyone else is worrying about either framing it a certain way to destroy someone or getting sued. So let's just kind of see what's out there, shall we? Right, here we go. So what have we got? Daily Mail. Daily Mail is like the craziest of the crazy. Oh, why is my computer messing up? Don't do that. Oh my Lord, hold on a sec. Okay, that's all right. Daily Mail is the craziest of the crazy. So this gives you a good idea of the stuff that's kind of going on. So these are the headlines. These are the headlines on the Daily Mail. Right, so we got these. They're leading with Andrew photos bombshells. This is Prince Andrew. That doesn't look very good, bro. That doesn't look very good. And no, there's no photo evidence or video evidence of anything with Donald Trump as well. So they seem a little bit spurious, but let's go through it all. So Daily Mail says, breaking news, disturbing photos in Epstein files appear to show Andrew on all fours over female sprawled on the floor. Lord of mercy. This guy's been central to the Epstein files for a long time. So they appear to show him crouching on all fours over a female lying on the floor. He's staring directly at the camera in one picture, while in another he has placed his left hand on the female's stomach. Okay, he's barefoot, wearing jeans and a white polo shirt. Okay. It's unclear where the images were taken and no further context is given. And so this comes from the new Epstein files dump. Do you remember before they came out and said, like, we've released them all, and now there's all this? What the fuck, guys? What the fuck? Just release everything. So redactions include information with personally identifiable details of victims, medical files. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. Man, that doesn't look very good, does it? So he's doing his thing here. That kind of looks like he's giving her a massage. So this is obviously the gateway to all of their crimes. Okay. So we got that on the Daily Mail. What else we got? We got Andrew invited Epstein for dinner at Buckingham Palace. So the UK royal family getting implicated just days after the file of the .pdf kind was released from house arrest. So after Epstein was convicted of underage extramarital abuse but got away with it, immediately a member of the royal family invited him to the royal family's HQ in the UK. So this is the one about Musk, and I think he's yet to respond about this. I don't know how he's going to respond about this to this. Elon Musk asked Jeffrey Epstein about the file of the PDF kinds Wild Island parties DOJ files show. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so the world's richest man, according to Daily Mail, emailed late file.pdf Jeffrey Epstein about what day would be suitable to visit the financier's infamous island for a wild party, according to government files. Quote, what day night will be the wildest party on our island? Musk emailed Epstein on November the 25th, 2012, according to Department of Justice documents released on Friday. Okay, so when was Epstein convicted? 2008. So this is a solid 4 years after Epstein pleaded guilty to procuring a child for prostitution prey. So Elon Musk would have known at that time, and he was still asking Epstein. This is damning for Elon Musk. Okay. According to DOJ, Quote, probably just Tallulah and me, Musk said, referencing British actress Tallulah Riley, his ex-wife. Okay, so this is slightly less damning because he's taking his wife there. So who knows? I mean, maybe he just wanted to have a wild party, but doesn't look good. That doesn't look very good at all. The Tesla CEO's inquiry was in response to an email Epstein sent Musk the day before asking, how many people will you be for the heli to island? Man, this is bad for Musk. At the time Musk emailed Epstein, the financier had already been convicted of ex-say I'm craze against Ina Mays in Florida. Musk's appearance in the files comes after he accused President Donald Trump over the summer of covering up the sordid documents to protect himself, a claim that caused a high-profile rupture between the two. And ironically, now he's in the middle of it. Musk's cozy relationship with the deceased file.pdf was unveiled on Friday as part of the Justice Department's release of more than 3 million documents relating to Epstein. Musk emailed Epstein again in the following year, in December 2013, to coordinate a trip to the sordid file.pdf's Caribbean island. Caribbean? We'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays, Musk wrote to Epstein. Is there a good time to visit? So Musk spoke with Epstein multiple times about visiting his private island. Okay, and okay, so got some images here of Epstein. Epstein responded by assuring Musk that the beginning of the new year would be a good time to visit, adding, always space for you. The pair communicated again on Christmas Day, with Epstein writing, the 2 or 3 would be perfect. I'll come and get you. Musk noted that he would need to travel back to LA on January the 2nd, 2013, before claiming he could delay his departure. When should we head to your island on the 2nd? Musk concluded to Epstein. It's not clear whether Musk ultimately visited Epstein on his island, but their email communications indicate they had a friendly relationship. The latest DOJ release is expected to contain previously unseen material from the investigation into Epstein, who was found hanged in a New York jail in 2019 while awaiting trial for ex-say African Trey underage Earl gays. Previous releases have shed light on Epstein's ties to the global elite, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, that's what came out in the files. And leftists have to be absolutely celebrating this. This is like Christmas. This is like the #1 Republican donor has that information released. Has the #1 public donor is in these files. We got there, as you saw there, and the Trumpster's in it as well. So we got to go on over to the Trumpster now. Daily Mail aren't even covering the Trumpster because, as I said, they do not want to get sued. They have to be really, really careful. So the Mirror, balls out, has gone and covered it. So let's see what is here, and then we'll go on over to X. So the Mirror says, Donald Trump accused of abusing underage Earl gay in FBI records released in Epstein files. FBI agents from the Bureau's Washington office were dispatched to interview a whistleblower who accused the president of having actually abused a girl 35 years ago in New Jersey. 35 years ago. FBI agents interviewed a whistleblower who claimed to have new info about the Trumpster, according to the newly released Epstein files. The cache of documents includes what appear to be summary notes of calls made to an FBI whistleblower hotline last year, which repeatedly refer to Donald Trump. Okay, so like last year... Right, okay, we got him this time, guys. So when was this accusation made? 35 years later, and it was made last year, which means it was made just before Trump's election. And if you remember in 2016, we had various grape allegations against Donald Trump where there was no evidence at all. So, okay, this was made right before Donald Trump was running for presidency. Interesting. So that's definitely a red flag to start with. It was made to an FBI whistleblower last year for an incident 35 years ago. So this person didn't wait until 2016 when Trump was running. At that time, when it was even closer to the time of the grape, they waited 35 years until just before Trump was running. I see. Inclusion in such a list is not evidence of wrongdoing, says the Mirror. Some of the tips listed in the document were dismissed by as not credible. Okay, so what they're talking about there, about it being dismissed as not credible, is this. So this is a kind of Democrat account on X, and they're basically saying like all of this is true. And then underneath, we can see what the Democrats are leaving out in a lot of their posts, trying to say that Donald Trump is guilty of this. A complaint that was made 35 years after the fact, apparently, last year. This was also in the FBI file dump, the DOJ file dump, which says complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate incidents involving police which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluations. So, yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but this is the accusation. One reads, redacted, reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform ore rale exe on President Trump approximately 25 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and that the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing ore rale exe. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she also was abused by Epstein. So the claim is by the friend of the person who was allegedly abused. And that was apparently made last year, I believe. So this is blowing up. So the headline says Trump is accused of actually, say, abusing an Earl Gay 35 years ago. Okay, but then it goes on to say one of them is 25 years ago. So there's various allegations. We'll keep going through them. So in the follow-up notes for this entry, officers did not say the report was not credible, but wrote, spoke with caller who identified redacted as friend. Lead was sent to Washington office to conduct interview. It's not known if the interview ever took place, so it didn't go anywhere, that accusation. In a statement, the Mirror says, regarding the new Epstein file dump by the DOJ, which mentions Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, and Elon Musk, quote, this production may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents, or videos, as everything that was sent to the FBI by the public was included in the production that is responsive to the act. Some of the documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims against President Trump that was submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they have a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. Interesting. So it said last year, so there's multiple claims, and it seems like more than one of them was made before an election that Trump was involved in. It seems one of them was made last year in 2024. It seems one of them was made 5 years ago, nearly now in 2020. And if these were salacious and false, it makes sense they wouldn't have come to light, because you've got to be so careful about making these claims. If you get this shit wrong, you're going to get sued for billions of dollars. Okay. The Mirror goes on. They say the Justice Department said it was releasing many more records from its investigative files on Jeffrey Epstein, resuming disclosures under a law intended to reveal what the government knew about the millionaire financier's sexual abuse of young girls and his interactions with rich and powerful people, including Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Deputy Attorney General Todd Launch said the department was releasing more than 3 million pages of documents in the latest Epstein disclosure, as well as more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. So that we're going to get lots of crazy images, for sure. The files, which were being posted to the department's website, include some of the several million pages of records that officials said were withheld from an initial release of documents in December. Okay. The documents were disclosed under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Okay, today's release, Blanche said, marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people and compliance with the act. Okay. So there's that. So we can actually read what the claims are against the Trumpster. There's so much going on here. So let's actually go through what was in this DOJ file dump, shall we? So here we go. And this omits the added information that says some of this information is not credible. So this is like a kind of selectively edited document from a Democrat account, but let's read it nonetheless. Okay, here we go. So complainant reported his ex-girlfriends, something, maybe family, were victims of Epstein's, and one was murdered. While working as a limousine driver, complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things Trump spoke about. This basically doesn't go... the driver pissed off about things that Trump is saying, says it's very offensive, and then this is the key information. Complainant noted Trump repeatedly stated the name of Jeffrey while on the phone. One of complainant's ex-girlfriends, redacted, told complainant Trump raped her, as did Epstein. Next, caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. Next, complainant following up a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform X-say acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her X-say trafficking tray and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform X-say acts with him, and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her newborn child. This sounds like a pretty crazy conspiracy. Okay, so apparently Trump was there when her newborn child was made. Okay. Next claim. Caller was taken by boat to Epstein's Island. Caller said it was complicated and involved Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Caller became a school counselor and had a meeting with the school principal, Linda Kitts, and a police officer. I'm a police officer. Where the caller was informed there were pictures of herself with Epstein. Caller reported the school was mad at her for not being a Trump person and that the school wanted her to testify and say things against Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone during the meeting. Caller believes the FBI had baby pictures of her with Epstein. Next. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, Victim 1, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim 1 saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave Victim 1 a drink, and Victim 1 woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim 1 didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim 1 called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim 1 did not go to a hospital to have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk. So if you're drunk, how does that nullify a rape kit test? Victim 1's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and Victim 1 believed Trump was behind it. Okay, Victim 1 also started dating a lawyer, identifies unknown, who was married. Victim 1 had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim 1 left the bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with Victim 1. Victim 1 was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what Victim 1 was wearing when she went missing. DNA tests were inconclusive. All right? So here's more information in the Epstein file dump today, on the 31st of January, 2026. Redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral X-say on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral X-say. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. Next, at age 16, while modeling, Caller attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, Caller reported she was actually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured Caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped her best friend and a third brother. Graped, did I say that? YouTube algorithm, no I didn't. Graped a 14-year-old girl named Redacted. Caller named other individuals involved in big OAGA arty pays with her, other young girls and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Next claim in the new Epstein file dump regarding Donald Trump. Online complainant reported she was a victim and witness to an ex-African tray ring at the Trump... This story is insane. It sounds like something out of a Scorsese movie. Online complainant reported she was a victim and witness to a ex-African tray ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California between 1995 and 1996. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madame and broker for ex-arty pays, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in gorgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked of what went on there or who she saw, he would end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other Untks. Okay, that's a pretty salacious claim there. And the next claim, complainant claims to have video of high-profile ex-arty pays, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach angle stray an Ungye girl to F-Day at a party. The Sinaloa cartel was apparently involved in that. And this is the last claim from the files regarding Donald Trump that we know about today. Here we go. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the Ilgen tray in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the Ilgen trays, vulva vase and agina vase by entering a finger and rated the Ilgen trays on tightness. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Don Jr. Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. Wow, that's like Democrat, isn't it? We were taken in rooms, forced to give ore roulette exe to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate pay us. I was 13 years old when Arnold Day J. Umtray graped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. So this implicates Trump's entire family in one mass depraved actual assault It says that Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric and Donald Trump were all there with Ilgen tray. Okay. Interesting accusation there, but like no photos of this, no evidence, none of that kind of stuff. These are just things that were noted down from a hotline that the Department of Justice set up. Okay, so that's what the media has to run with today, and Democrats are obviously all over this. And as I said, the Democrat who posted it on X, they left this part out that the DOJ wrote an addendum that says complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate incidents involving police which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluation. So I want to see the actual files with the Trumpster in, but that was the Trump allegation. So that's very explosive stuff there. And let's keep going through other news. So in the file dump, the Epstein file dump, we have this. The day after Trump's election victory in 2016, this email was sent to Epstein. The sender celebrates Trump's win and then recounts an interesting anecdote. I simply cannot believe this victory. No one called it. We all thought she'd win, referencing Seahag Clinton. You must be happy, though. I remember flying back with Donald on his plane the first weekend I went to visit you in Florida. Was the first weekend he met Melania, and he kept on coming out the bedroom saying, wow, what a hot piece of ass. Nuts. Anyway, hope you're enjoying Saudi. That makes Donald Trump sound like a normal person. And this is like a real email sent. This isn't some anonymous kind of tip line. So that's not very damning, but some people are kind of releasing that. Potentially not damning. So New York Post have run with this. So Trump's wife Melania implicated in the files. New York Post says Epstein files dump includes Melania Trump's email to Ghislaine Maxwell as journalists dig dirt on her boyfriend. What is this gossip? So let's see what this is all about. The Epstein file dump on Friday included an email exchange with Melania Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell, where the now convict called the future First Lady Sweet Pea. The note about getting together in New York City was dated October the 23rd, 2002, and was among the 3 million documents the Justice Department released on Friday as part of the Epstein investigation. Melania would have still been a Nouse at the time, her maiden name. She and Donald Trump married in 2005. In the email where she calls, Maxwell G, Melania mentions the now infamous New York Magazine profile of Epstein, in which Donald Trump famously said the billionaire file.pdf liked women on the younger side. Dear Ghislaine, how are you? Nice story about Jeffrey Epstein in NY Mag. You look great on the picture, she wrote. I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you're back in NY. Have a great time. Love, Melania. Maxwell responded, calling Melania Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea, thanks for your message. Actually, plans changed again, and I'm now on my way back to NY. I leave again on Friday, so I still do not think I have time to see you, sadly. I will try and call, though, she wrote. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had a falling out in the early 2000s, but at the time of the email were believed to still be friends. In fact, in November 2002, this is the time Trump claimed that he kicked out Epstein from Mar-a-Lago or Trump Tower, wherever the hell it was. I think it was Mar-a-Lago. In fact, in November 2002, Trump, Maxwell, Melania Nouse, and model Naomi Campbell appeared in a photo together at an opening of a Dolce & Gabbana store in New York. The First Lady is also mentioned in emails between Epstein and author Michael Wolff that were exchanged in 2017 during the first Trump administration. Quote, some journalists working in lead on a Melania boyfriend, Epstein wrote to Wolff. If so, I'll be sorry to have missed that, Wolff responded. A year later, in 2018, Epstein emailed Wolff about President Trump, quote, could drive him over the edge if the Melania story doesn't come out. It's unclear what Epstein was referring to. He used a lot of coded language, bad grammar, and spelling mistakes. Okay, so maybe Epstein had info on Melania's romantic history and wanted to use that to blackmail Trump in some kind of way. Oh, I got a subscriber. Thank you. Interesting. But man, this article doesn't give us all the info. So this is the part that interests me. In the email between Trump's now wife and Epstein's Madame confidant Ghislaine Maxwell, Melania, according to the NY Post, mentions the NY magazine profile of Epstein, in which Trump famously said, okay, the billionaire file.pdf like women on the younger side, but like I want to, okay. Anyways, apparently she has some romantic history, so there's info there that could be coming out. So check this out. Communist Zoran Scamdani, the new New York City mayor, he's been dragged into the Epstein scandal as files claim his mother spent evening at Ghislaine Maxwell's house. Now, as you know, I'm a massive supporter of Donald Trump. But that doesn't mean I'm going to try to frame this in a way that will make Donald Trump look better. This channel is just about finding the truth. That's all it is. And I'll just bring you everything. I'll cover it wall to wall. You already know, though, that a lot of the Democrats and leftists who are talking about this online, they're not mentioning Bill Clinton at all. They're not mentioning Zoran Mamdani at all. I'll bring you all the news, good or bad, Massacre mates. So Mamdani's mother is implicated in this. According to the Daily Mail, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the release of at least 3 million new Epstein files to the public on Friday. And Ghislaine Maxwell is central to this story yet again. And Zoran Mamdani's director mother mentioned in Epstein files. His mother is called Mira Naya. She was mentioned. Her name was included in a 2009 email from publicist Peggy Siegel to the convicted file.pdf. Quote, just left Ghislaine's townhouse, after party for film. Bill Clinton and Jeff Bezos were there. And this is the thing, everyone who's high profile would have crossed paths with Epstein at that time, so it doesn't mean everybody's guilty. It would be hard not to have crossed his path at one time. So just keep that in mind. Bill Clinton and Jeff Bezos was there. John Pigoni, director of Mira Nair, Siegel wrote. The details in the email suggest it was a party for Nair's 29 adventure romance film Amelia, starring Hilary Swank and Richard Gere. Film received tepid reaction, although women like it much more. Hilary Swank and Gere at stupid party in Bloomingdale's cheap sportwear department. Very weird, Siegel wrote. Being named or pictured in the files is not necessarily an indication of wrongdoing. Okay. Oh yeah, because his mother made some like communist propaganda films. Interesting. So Ghislaine Maxwell. So the publicist. A publicist, Peggy Siegel, mentioned Zoran Mamdani's mother in an email to Epstein, where she had spent time with Epstein's Madame Ghislaine. And Mamdani's mother? Okay. Interesting. Okay. So more from Trump's wife in the new Epstein file dump. According to the Daily Mail, Melania's intimate love note to Ghislaine Maxwell buried inside explosive Epstein files release. October 23rd, 2002. We're talking about now. Her message begins, Dear G, how are you? Nice story about Epstein in the NY mag. You look great. Okay, so we've covered this already. Yeah, we covered that already. Okay, we've done the Elon Musk already. He's probably going to respond to this now. We're going to have to look online for his response. So 3 million files were released today. Okay. We've covered Prince Andrew. I mean, look at that, bro. That doesn't look very good, does it? That doesn't look very good. Yeah. Okay. 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 So it's all breaking news. Yeah, here's the email from Musk to Epstein. Probably just Tallulah and me. What day and night will be the wildest party on your island? Musk said. So that's after Musk said he was invited to the island and he he flat out refused. Elon Musk said he refused, but that directly contradicts what Elon Musk said. So I'm waiting to hear. Interesting. So yeah, this is a post on X from Musk last year in July 2025, where he says, how can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? And now he got his wish and he's implicated in it. So this is a mad story. Absolutely crazy story. It's breaking news. This is going to run and run and run. This is going to explode. People are still going through this news, and I'm just reacting to it and showing you what other people won't show you in an honest, open light, or people are not showing you because they're worried about getting sued or whatever in the case of the mainstream media. Yeah, so Bill Gates is in the files, and it says that Bill Gates got STDs from Russian hookers and then asked Jeffrey Epstein for antibiotics that Bill Gates could secretly give to Melinda without her noticing. And the guy who is posting this news that enabled me to find it on X, or the girl, Kate Hyde, made a great comment and said, if Bill Gates is willing to secretly drug his own wife, imagine what he's willing to do to us. Bonkers. So look at this email that Jeffrey Epstein wrote talking about Bill Gates. This is fucking mad. Dear Bill, I cannot believe that you have chosen to disregard our friendship developed over the last 6 years. I'm aware that accidents happen. It is how each of us has chosen to deal with this unfortunate event that has me dismayed beyond comprehension. You have decided to discharge me from my job. Had Larry, your PR person, tell me that I engaged in morally inappropriate behavior and asked me to be the major actor in a cover-up so that you can maintain the reputation that you have worked so hard to achieve. Asked me to recommit to a confidentiality agreement and have categorically told me we cannot have any direct ongoing business relationship, in total disregard for its impact on the public perception of my reputation. And note how there's none of these emails written directly to Trump. The people who are actually having an open dialogue with Epstein are obviously Prince Andrew and Bill Gates. I will have to diligently avoid the truth, says Epstein in an email to Bill Gates, talking about Bill Gates drugging his wife with antibiotics to stop her getting the STDs he picked up after shagging some Russian hookers allegedly. Tell people that Bill will not invest in me and craft an answer that suits your needs, says Epstein, but did agree to send you a letter of recommendation should a future employer ask for one. You have told me that Melinda Gates, on me not communicating with you unless Larry's copied or present, though you have consistently maintained that I could not have done a better job and that I was underpaid compared to my contribution. You then, beyond all sense and fairness and frankly decency, said that as generous compensation for keeping the Gates reputation intact, you would let me keep what we agreed I had already owned, the investment pieces, and give me 2 years severance, similar to Christine Turner, another casualty. If the shoe was on the other foot, I would have said, Boris, this is not your fault. I confessed to Melinda, you didn't. It was in a moment of weakness, and I will do anything within my power to make it right for you. This is some rambling craziness, dude. It's almost like if you wanna get conspiratorial beyond this massive conspiracy, it's almost like this email is engineered to be purposefully kind of confusing, and you could argue like it distracts from a greater conspiracy. Like someone who operates at this level, how could their English be this bad? And like Epstein come across like a kind of uneducated buffoon. You could almost get conspiratorial and say there was a super organized conspiracy conducted by some of the brightest minds out there, And they tried to detract from how severe and deep it was and its origins by making Epstein out to be a little bit bumbling and foolish and just basic bitch blackmailing. But Occam's razor, hopefully this is real, and while being extremely nefarious, it's not some huge like CIA, Mossad, intelligence agency plot, but fuck knows. I'm sure you'll let me know your opinions in the comments. Let's keep going through Epstein's email about Bill Gates. He says, I have more money than anyone needs, and I assure you I will structure something so that you will not be penalized for my error. Lucky for me, I have enough money to provide you, though it will not heal the injury. It will make you secure in your future. In addition, I will bend over backwards to make sure your next career is rewarding and on an upswing. But this is clearly not... How is this to Bill Gates, like talking about his next career? It's from Epstein to himself. So this can't be to Bill Gates, but it's about Bill Gates. Anyways, let's keep going through. It says, let's get to the prostitutes and antibiotics and spiking his wife's food and drink with antibiotics part. I appreciate the fact that this drastically alters your plans and I'm very aware of the career path you gave up to join the foundation. I'm very sorry, but I believe time heals all wounds. This will eventually pass. In that regard, I suggest I buy you the house that you so had your heart set on. And in addition to 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out of the investment contract we had agree 30 to 40% of $100 million partnership. For $30 million in today's dollars, terms and conditions to be agreed. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. What I did receive, however, was an unfriendly, strongly worded email telling me how employable I am and that I should not look to you for any significant financial help in the future. To add insult to the injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD. So this is to Bill Gates. Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda and the description of your penis. Wow. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to redacted, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us. Holy shit. That could be the woman in question who we got the STD from, or women. In return for all of these requests, which I would have done without a second thought, I am not to attend meetings with Melinda. I should continue to provide you the same level of service and dedication that I have done so diligently until you're ready to discard me and our friendship. Like this kind of shit, you would probably tell someone by tapping them on the shoulder and one of your men on the inside say, look, I've got this info on you. To do this in an open email, it just seems fucking crazy. There you go. So that's apparently from Epstein to Bill Gates. Now you want to talk about damning? That seems pretty fucking damning. Although I'm kind of questioning that the authenticity of the framing of this. It just seems so fucking weird. Anyways, that's fucking mental. That's fucking mad. Another one from Epstein about Bill Gates. I've decided to resign my position effective immediately with BG3 and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I have not come to this decision quickly or without a great deal of thought. During the past few weeks, I have been caught up in severe marital dispute between Melinda and Bill. I have the greatest respect for my friend of 7 years and wish them both well in my role as his right hand. Holy shit. Bill Gates' right hand. I have been asked and wrongly acquiesced into participating in things that have ranged from the morally inappropriate to the ethically unsound, and have been repeatedly asked to do things that get near and potentially over the line into the illegal. Though it was kindly suggested that I make a transition to a new position after my 6 years of servitude, and that Bill would, in his words, give me 2 years severance pay, I feel it would be dishonest to myself and my future, from helping Bill to get drugs in order to deal with consequences of sex with Russian girls, to facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. Man, this is some nerdy fucking crime, man. That is the exact kind of crime I would think Bill Gates would be guilty of if he were a criminal. This guy isn't going around robbing liquor stores. This motherfucker is dealing Adderall at bridge tournaments. As I am a medical doctor, but have no prescriptions writing ability. So if such a thing existed with Donald Trump, an email like this, I would be quite fucking concerned. But there's no emails like this about Trump. And the Trump accusations are anonymous accusations made on a hotline, and they occurred 35 years ago, and 2 of them occurred right before the election. My opinion about Donald Trump's grape claims is absolute BS. I went so deep into the Jean E. Carroll that has 1,000 times more substance than any of these leveled against him. It's obvious BS. So, yeah, I mean, there's a million crazed leftists out there who cheer on Charlie Kirk's death and literally will give up their own lives to fight to keep illegal criminal migrant rapists and child ex-say abusers in their state, and will stymie ICE trying to deport and hold those people to account and bring them to justice. Are you telling me those people who protect like illegal migrant ex-say offenders and child rapists wouldn't anonymously call a hotline and say Donald Trump did this and then never follow it up? Bro, where are these people? Who are they? Like, let's bring the claims to light and let's address it. So I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. So someone in the comments telling me to buy a new microphone. Is it really that bad? What's wrong with it? Are you telling me that noise outside? Oh, because I got a gate on. Sounds fine to me. Unless there's a glitch in my system and it's really bad. There's a construction going on outside my apartment, literally opposite. They're building a 31-story skyscraper, which means I only slept for 3 hours, and I don't know how I'm going to function for the foreseeable 3 years or 4 years it takes for its completion. It's finished at the end of 2029. But anyways, I'm here bringing you some news. Let me hear myself speak. Oh, it's crackling. Oh, don't tell me that, bro. Don't tell me that. And I don't know how I'm going to function. I'm so sorry, bro. But thank you for the feedback. 3 years or 4 years it takes. That's just awful. Okay, so I'm going to have to re-up with this one. I'll be right back. Has it been bad the whole time? Okay, let's... Okay, testing, 1, 2. What does it sound like now? If it's still bad, I'm going to have to re-plug in my audio card. Thank you for the feedback, everyone. I mean, this shit does happen sometimes live, but we make do we not? It better not have been like this for the whole damn episode, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. That would be brutal. Just came in. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Wow, you're so kind to give me the feedback. That's very helpful for the whole damn episode, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. That would be brutal. Sounds all right? Okay. Just came in. Yay! Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, like, fucking mad news. Yeah, no, it was just my routing software behind the scenes. If you're enjoying this episode of Johnny Massacre's World, it's my world, a crazy world, a Japanese world, a fun world, a ranty world, a doom-scrolling world, an anarcho-capitalistic world, a libertarian world, a funny world, a contradictory world, a silly world, an ADHD world, an autism world, but not really autism because we've got empathy world, and just my world. Please consider donating on the links to the right of my head, streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre, patreon.com/Johnny Massacre, and paypal.me/give me a hell yeah. You know the donations help. Okay, so let's keep going through this news, cuzzy, because there's just a lot of stuff going. I mean, that Bill Gates stuff that's pretty spice. And I know that Bill Gates has responded to this, right? He's actually responded. So He has to. He fucking. This is Mr. Microsoft. This bastard who wants to block out the sun and all this BS. Yeah. Okay. So, but he didn't respond directly. A spokesperson did. Check this, dude. Bill Gates has responded. Bill Gates spokesperson blasts absurd claims in Epstein files. Okay. Oh. Yeah, let's just watch it.
Very, very quickly, can you assure the American public that President Trump, like every other prominent person whose name came up in relation to the Epstein files, that all documents,
This is something different. What is this?
photos, and anything relevant to him connected to the case are being released?
I mean, yes, I can assure that we complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect President Trump, we didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that. But President Trump, of all the people in Washington, D.C. and around this country that have said for years the same consistent message about Jeffrey Epstein is President Trump.
It's Epstein, other mate I could face. Why can't you pronounce his goddamn name?
And so there's not been a change of course or anything, and certainly his...
Okay, yada, yada, yada. Let's see what Bill Gates said, yeah? Okay, here we go. Bill Gates denies allegations. Bill Gates, through his philanthropic foundation, issued a strongly worded denial Friday on the latest allegations to emerge about his relationship with Epstein. Okay, 3 million pages released. We know about this. Circling back to that. Okay. Okay, so this makes sense. So the person that Epstein was emailing about Bill Gates, it was a draft. So Epstein was emailing himself, but it was to a guy called Boris, who worked for Bill Gates. That's why he's talking about Boris's remuneration. Like, he's just controlling everyone with money. Okay, suggested basically Bill Gates shagged some Russian hookers, got an STD, and was going to give antibiotics surreptitiously to his wife so she wouldn't find out. This is what Bill Gates said through his foundation. Quote, "These claims are absolutely absurd and completely false," a spokesperson for Bill Gates told Business Insider in a statement. "The only thing these documents demonstrate is Epstein's frustration that he did not have an ongoing relationship with Gates and the lengths he would go to entrap and defame." Okay. So he's saying that Bill Gates is saying that Jeffrey Epstein made that up because he's trying to entrap Bill Gates. It's not known if the text of emails was ever sent to Gates, the founder of Microsoft. Okay, that's all Bill Gates said about that. Interesting. So X is summarizing this via AI. And yeah, what we need to, like, Musk must have responded to this, man. He must have. But what can he fucking say in those emails? That's not good, dude. He's not responding to, well, is he responding to it? No. So we're waiting for Musk's response on this. But then 3 hours ago, he's posting this. Okay. Musk hasn't responded to any of this kind of stuff. Nothing. Nothing at all. Okay, so we wait. So, like, let's see what CNN is saying, right? Like, this is going to be top of every single Democrat, like, sponsored website. 5 early takeaways from DOJ's big Epstein files release. The 3 million pages of files include references to prominent figures, including Trump, Clinton, Lutnick, and Musk. Okay. So yeah, it's like the top story over there. Let's see if Fox News is running with it. No, which is kind of damning. They definitely should. They definitely should. Yeah. So there we go, everybody. Huge news. Kaneko the Great with some more news says, newly released Jeffrey Epstein emails reveal LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman discussing visits to Epstein's private island, New Mexico ranch, and New York apartment. Reid will spend the night at 71st. Reid Hoffman will go to the ranch for the weekend. Jeffrey will fly all to St. Thomas. From St. Thomas, they hop on his heli and fly to his island. Second time we've heard about that, the heli, right? Hoffman's name appears more than 2,600 times in DOJ Epstein files, revealing hundreds of emails, Zoom calls, dinners, and meetings between Epstein and Hoffman from 2013 to 2018. Epstein described Hoffman as a very close friend, advised him on tax strategies, and even helped him shop for a private jet. The two repeatedly wrote about how much they missed each other and couldn't wait to meet again. The files also show Hoffman introduced Epstein to Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, and Elon Musk. Furthermore, Epstein may have introduced Hoffman to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Emails and documents in the thread below. Interesting. All right. Haha. In other news, the fucking Prime Minister of England is cozying up to China and making economic deals with the Communist Party who want to destroy him. Fucking hilarious. He just couldn't make this shit up. In 2016, Obama awarded Bill Gates the Medal of Freedom, citing his work with women and children. This was after Epstein became a convicted ex-say offender. Okay. Absolutely mad. Right. So my take on this is the Trump stuff, it really just looks like absolute BS. No evidence at all, never brought to case, never brought to trial, came before elections. I honestly think that looks like BS. The Bill Gates stuff looks pretty fucking bad. So you got Epstein talking about Bill Gates fucking people. When you're looking at any email written correspondence from Epstein about Trump, it's always about how much he hates him and he wants to fuck over Trump, but never anything like that. The Musk stuff is really fucking bad because Musk, it seems like who knows if he went there, but he's in emails in this leak saying he wants to go to the island. That was after he was convicted as an ex-say offender. And Musk has come out before explicitly stating that he was invited to the island and he refused it. So that looks bad. That looks bad for Musk. And yeah, we're gonna have to wait to see what his response is. I don't think.
Joe88 says, "Hell yeah, Johnny."
What's up, mate? The only defense he can have is that he didn't know that he was convicted of ex-say I'm craze. If he didn't know, it could very feasibly be the case. He just wants to go to a party and meet some girls and stuff. Epstein was known for partying with girls and whatnot. And in the same way, there's loads of people that P. Diddy's white parties, fucking everyone. Does it mean all of them were guilty of doing something? Obviously not. But that's the only way Elon Musk can really come out of this in a good light. That looks really, really bad. And Democrats that is like Christmas for Democrats. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's certainly for Musk, but it doesn't look good for him. And Democrats are going to be fucking they're going to be partying with this one. But it's they must have woken up. It was, I said it before, Christmas for them. Oh my God, these accusations on Trump, these accusations on Musk. That doesn't take away from the fact that Democrats are literally a violent, dangerous cult. And you shouldn't vote for them, in my opinion. But they're going to be fucking celebrating. So man, can you imagine what it's like on Blue Sky? It's gonna be fucking mental. Blue Sky on Reddit today is gonna be absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that's the shit I woke up to. That has to be covered. That news has to be covered. And are there more of these files to come? I do wonder. So yeah, the mainstream media are doing their thing and they're combing through it. So there'll be tons more stuff coming out. And it's the times like this you think about AI. Probably still not quite ready for it, but there will come a point you just dump the whole files into AI and it can properly, meticulously go through everything and summarize it with all of the kind of the most contentious points. yeah. So anyways, people are going to be going through it and more info is going to be coming out. I mean, look at this headline. Prince Andrew was reportedly an accessory to the death of a girl, according to emails released in the Epstein files. The email says that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor tortured her before forcing someone else to murder her. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. Doesn't say who sent the email and who it's sent to, but the subject is forward to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's confidant and madame. And the email says, he called me wanting to give him a secure email address. He is from redacted. The number that came up is redacted. Original message is from Brian Miller to someone redacted. Ghislaine is the subject, which says, back in the 90s, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited a girl for a modeling career. Instead of modeling, she was sold as a slave for Exe and Orchate. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death as he Orchate her and me to force her me. I need to get a passport to identify her. I need someone to contact the passport office to get an expedited passport. That's pretty fucking intense. Holy shit. Wow, this is mad. So now people are talking about Bill Gates on X. Sarah Rose said, this nerd got STDs from Russian Haze and had to spike his former wife's martini with doxycycline. Holy. Mental. So I don't think this is really going to do that much against Trump. It's just gonna be the next form of ammunition for Democrats that they're going to run with. But again, they have to be so fucking careful. And that's why the Daily Mail has none of this on their website, because these are spurious allegations that were supposed to have occurred 35 years ago that were given to an FBI hotline from a friend of the person it's being alleged this happened to right before elections. And they didn't go anywhere and there was no evidence given or anything. So people have to be really fucking careful with this. Democrats have to be really careful because Trump can and will sue for billions. He just launched a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS for leaking his tax records and stuff. So this is basically just going to be a form of ammunition for Democrats to propagandize and whip up like public sentiment against Donald Trump approaching the midterms. Other than that, I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. The Elon Musk stuff, the Democrats are going to use that to, again, smear Republicans because he's the #1 Republican donor. And he's like, without him, probably Trump wouldn't have got elected. The publicity he brought to Trump's causes and the Republican cause in 2024, the work that he did over in Pennsylvania, he calculated that they had to win there in order to win the election. The Democrats are going to be saying, well, the #1 person who's donating to Republicans is basically a file.pdf, or is, at the very least, is someone who associates and literally wants to associate with Epstein. So they're going to use that as a way to dissuade people to vote for Donald Trump in the midterm. So that's the main thing you're going to see out of this for the moment. We're going to have to keep our ears to the ground, to use a horrific cliche, to see what else is coming regarding this. But yeah, this is obviously the biggest news today. So still waiting for Musk's response to all of this. And be interested to hear what Trump has to say about it. He hasn't responded to this yet. I'm looking at Truth Social right now, so we'll have to wait and see. But there you go, my friends. I do hope you're all well. I really, really do. What are you lot up to? We had quite a few views for this stream. Let me know what you think of it. Would appreciate that. So I'm going to go. And I'll probably be back with some kind of stream soon in the next 30 minutes. So there you go. New Epstein file dump. Over 3 million documents released. Tens of thousands of images and stuff like that. People in the files mainly are Bill Gates, who Epstein accused of sleeping with Russian hookers, contracting an STD, and then consulting him about, and then Bill Gates consulting Epstein regarding spiking his wife's food or drink with antibiotics so she wouldn't realize that he potentially gave her an STD. Musk is in the files in an email asking to go to Epstein's wild parties after Epstein was convicted of ILD-XA offenses. And Donald Trump is in the files regarding a DOJ hotline where a few people accused Trump of doing something 25 and 35 years ago, respectively. And those tips were given in 2020 and 2024, right before the elections, and there's no evidence regarding it, and it basically didn't go anywhere. And Prince Andrew's in the files, accused of aiding and abetting a victim's May, if you can believe that. And there's pictures of him on all fours over one of Epstein's girls, presumably. So lots and lots of news today. And I am Johnny Massacre. If you enjoyed the stream, please like and subscribe if you're new here. And please consider donating on the links to the right of my head. Thank you so much, everyone. Be seeing you soon. Cheers.